Hey guys, and welcome back to Crash Course World History. My name is Abby, and I'm going to be your host today. I'm sure you're used to seeing John Green, but he's actually on an exploration, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Talking about the age of exploration, I figured it'd only be fitting to wear a Hawaiian shirt. Honestly, I don't know, just go with it. The start of all these explorations actually came from the fall of Constantinople, which Europe relied on for most of its trade. But that's a whole other part of history, so let's get straight into the video. The Europeans' motivation can be summarized by three things, which we refer to as the three G's: God, glory, and gold. Along with this, they also craved adventure. With these intentions in mind, trade increased, which sparked the desire for spices, such as nutmeg, ginger, and pepper. All of this new trade gave merchants a new sense of control since they could actually manipulate the prices. Going back into the first motivation, Europeans attempted to convert non-Christians. They actually felt that this was their sacred duty. As previously mentioned, trade helped spread ideas, which helped advance technology. This is why we have the compass. One of the really important inventions of this time was the caravel. The caravel was a vessel made sturdier. It had triangular sails and more room for cargo, along with shallower drafts and a sextant measures longitude and latitude. Right? Yup. Along with these innovations, many trading ports were formed. The first by Portugal on the African coast. I think it's time for the mystery document. All right, let's take a look at this. A map. So I'm gonna guess this is Vasco da Gama's route. Sweet. Vasco da Gama actually established this trade route on the African coast. He then sailed to explore East India and Southwest Africa. I got those mixed up. East Africa and Southwest India. These discoveries actually sparked jealousy among other sailors such as Christopher Columbus. That led Christopher Columbus to go on his own exploration to find some lands. This resulted in a ton of confusion and feuds among who conquered which land. This led to the Treaty of Tordesillas. This treaty established the lands conquered by the different territories of Portugal and Spain. Now, with all this talk of trade, you're probably wondering if they have a system of economics. Well, actually, they do. Let's go to the thought bubble. This system typically went by the name of mercantilism. Mercantilism was said to have actually emerged from the Columbian Exchange. It can be defined as an economic policy under which nations sought to increase their wealth and power by obtaining large amounts of gold and silver. Not only that, but by selling more goods than they bought. Another really big concept during the Age of Exploration was the Columbian Exchange. The Columbian Exchange is the transfer of goods from one continent to the other. Rice, wheat, and barley were taken to the New World, along with livestock and pets. Corn, potatoes, and beans were taken to the New World, along with horses and cattle. With new foods came healthier diets. Farm classes also arose, but there was a downside to this. The Columbian Exchange actually brought diseases such as smallpox. Gold, being one of the three G's like previously discussed, was one of the main reasons for all this exploration. Gold ties back into trade, which is why we're talking about it so much. The exploration really revolved around the transfer of goods. In the triangular trade, America sends raw materials like lumber and coal to Europe, where they then send manufactured goods like boats and gunpowder to Africa. Africa then sends slaves to America in exchange for production. Slaves were sent to America in a very brutal way called the Middle Passage. They were uncomfortably packed into these what you'd think would be large ships, which they are large, but when there's thousands of slaves and people being packed into one place, it gets kind of crowded. They were then sent on a long voyage all the way from Africa to the Caribbean. A lot of slaves often died before actually reaching their destination. In summary, the Age of Exploration has led us to a lot of the lands we have today. A time period so heavily focused around trade has also helped us establish some of the economies, especially over in Europe. The Age of Exploration also increased communication within the world, which led us to trade more food and resources. But it also led to the spread of diseases. Thank you so much for watching this brief history lesson on the Age of Exploration, and I hope you enjoyed. Can you tell them to stop playing basketball? No!
My hands are shaking so much.
Hello, my name is Patricia,
which made the,
That's it. Oh my god, me.
I don't know what to do with my
Pietras. God.
Europeans. You're fine.
Let's talk about